I knew he never loved the sound of hospital machines. But the way he smiled when the doctor said, 3 days left, that stayed with me deeper than any wound. He leaned close, squeezed my hand as if in sympathy, and whispered, "Finally, 3 days. Your house, your money, everything. You kept me waiting long enough." Then he walked out, just like that. No hesitation, no shame, as if I were already a corpse cooling in the sheets. I exhaled once, slow, controlled. Then I picked up my phone and called the only person who had ever seen through him without trying, the cleaning lady. "Help me," I told her, keeping my voice steady. "And you'll never have to work again." She arrived in 20 minutes. I had already pulled the IV from my arm. I was never dying, just a misdiagnosis he heard before I did, and the perfect opportunity he revealed before I said a word. I got dressed, signed myself out discreetly, and prepared to speak, because I had a truth he was never ready to hear, and a replacement he didn't know existed. When I first met Daniel, he was gentle in a way that looked like strength. He remembered things, my coffee order, the books I read, the way I laughed when I tried not to cry. I mistook observation for affection, calculation for love. He held my hand like a man who wanted forever. I didn't realize he was measuring the weight of the rings that would eventually sit on it. We built a life, or at least I built. He occupied. Then the small things, the odd receipts, late-night work calls, the shift in warmth started appearing. A forgotten shirt scent that wasn't mine. A silent phone that only lit up when he turned away. Smiles that stayed on his lips but never reached his eyes. I watched. I didn't confront. Confrontation warns the guilty. Observation arms the betrayed. And slowly, the cracks became a map leading straight to his betrayal. The last piece fell into my hands the night his phone buzzed while he showered. A message lit up, "Did you tell her yet? The money will help us start over. Not help you, help us." He wasn't just cheating, he was planning a future funded by my death, real or imagined. I didn't break. I recalculated. If he thought I was dying, he'd expose everything he'd been hiding, because greedy men always overplay when they think the game is almost over. And he did. That smile at the hospital confirmed the rot inside him, a confession wrapped in glee. 3 days left. He was right, just not for me. I had spent years quietly shifting everything into my name, every investment, every property. His business was funded by me, but owned by my corporation. He just never read the papers he blindly signed. I hired a private investigator weeks before. I already had photos of him with her, the woman he'd been promising my life to. A simple trick, I transferred power of attorney to the cleaning lady, someone whose loyalty wasn't bought by romance, but by fairness. Then I moved everything out of reach. Accounts frozen, properties locked behind legal barriers. His name vanished from every asset he thought he'd inherit. All that remained in his name were his debts. Debts he didn't know were about to surface. He came home that night expecting to find the house dark and me decaying slowly in a hospital bed. Instead, he found me sitting in the living room with the cleaning lady beside me, paperwork stacked neatly on the table. He paled. He always paled when control slipped away. "You're supposed to be," he stammered. "Dead?" I finished. "You looked disappointed when you left." He tried to laugh it off, tried to reach for me. Old habits. I slid the folder toward him. It contained photos, bank statements, messages, legal notices, and the final stroke, a document showing he no longer owned anything but his own lies. "What is this?" he whispered. "Your new life," I said, "the one you tried to build on my grave." He tried anger next, then pleading, then fear. I stood. Each second felt like reclaiming oxygen he'd stolen for years. "There's someone I want you to meet," I added. Right on cue, the door opened. My lawyer. Not just any lawyer, the man who had replaced him in my life months ago. The one Daniel dismissed as just the estate guy. He walked in, calm, confident, already holding the paperwork for the divorce and criminal charges. Daniel looked at us like he finally understood who had taken his place, not just as my protector, but as the man standing where he thought he was irreplaceable. 3 days, I said quietly. You said that's all I had left. Turns out you were right. I leaned closer. But the funeral is yours. He left the house with nothing but the clothes on his back and the weight of his own choices. I watched him go without shaking. When the door closed, the cleaning lady looked at me with tears in her eyes. "Are you okay?" she asked. I smiled, for the first time in years, because betrayal didn't break me, it revealed him. And justice, quiet, deliberate justice, did the rest.